You will now see all of the biggest highlights from Tesla's 2024 shareholder meeting. Towards the end of this video, I will give my overall take on this meeting and what could come next for Tesla's stock. Like, does this actually change anything? Did we get good news today, and will that be impactful?
Fifth and finally, our stockholders have approved the ratification of the 100% performance-based stock option award to Elon Musk that was approved by stockholders in 2018. And with that, Tesla shareholders, let's welcome Elon Musk.
I just want to start off by saying, hot damn, I love you guys. Yeah, I think we're chapter for Tesla. We're starting a new book. I think in terms of the value of the company, autonomy is just such a mind-blowing thing that, like I said, you guys understand, but I think most of the world does not yet understand. And if you just plot the points on the curve of how well autonomy is progressing and just believe the curve, it's headed towards unsupervised full self-driving very quickly at an exponential pace. No question whatsoever that will far exceed human safety. Yeah, no question. So like there'll be some cars that Tesla owns itself in kind of like an Uber fashion, but then for the fleet that is owned by our customers, it will be like an Airbnb thing. You can add or subtract your car to the fleet whenever you want. Whenever you want it back, you can say come back and the car will come right back. And I'm highly confident that it will far exceed the value, like the revenue made by the owner of the car will far exceed the actual monthly payment. And then Tesla will obviously take a rev share on that, but most of the money will go to the owner of the car, and this is actually going to work. This is what will happen. Mark my words, this is simply a matter of time. Now, admittedly, I'm a little optimistic sometimes. So I don't have complete lack of self-awareness. For ARK Invest, I'd recommend reading the ARK Invest analysis. That's the most accurate. There may be more accurate ones, but the most accurate sort of analysis of the potential of autonomy. The most accurate that I'm aware of is Kathy Wood's ARK Invest. And if I recall correctly, they predicted somewhere over a $5 trillion valuation for Tesla just based on vehicle autonomy, not counting Optimus. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I think just based on vehicle autonomy, we can 10x, more than 10x the value of the company. I believe that's what will happen. Hey, no, it's just, what do you know? It's 4:20 p.m. I just noticed that. It actually gets way crazier when you think about the Optimus robot, which is really a humanoid robot that is intended to, be able to do anything you want it to do. To be, your companion. It can be at your house. It can sort of babysit your kids. It could teach them. It could be a teacher. It can do factory stuff. I think that the ultimate ratio of, you say, how many super useful humanoid helper droids do you want? Like, who doesn't want a C-3PO, but a C-3PO plus R2-D2 plus, plus. It would be pretty awesome. I think everyone in the world is going to want one. Like, literally everyone. And then there'll be obviously robots in industry making stuff, and so I think the ratio of humanoid robots to humans will probably be at least 2 to 1, something like that. 1 to 1 for sure. So which means like somewhere on the order of 10 billion humanoid robots, maybe 20 or 30, and so then it's like, okay, well, let's say. You kind of make, let's say the build rate is, I think the build rate will be probably something ultimately like 1 billion a year, humanoid robots, like actually. And if Tesla just has a 10% share of that, and it might be a lot more than 10%, and we make like 100 million Optimus units a year. For reference, the auto industry is roughly 100 million vehicles per year. So that, sort of similar ballpark, at least within an order of magnitude. And I think we could make one for a cost of maybe at really high scale of about $10,000. It's smaller. It'd be less expensive than a car. So, and I think if you sell it for $20,000 or something, this is at large scale volume. Tesla would basically make about $1 trillion of profit a year from that. So, yeah. If the price earnings multiple is, say, I don't know, 20 or 25, something like that, that would mean a $20 trillion market cap from Optimus alone. And probably 5 to 10 from autonomous vehicles. So, I think it's actually conceivable, it's within the realm of possibility for Tesla to achieve a valuation 10 times that of the most valuable company today. So when I say this is like we're starting a new book, I mean, it's going to be the best book. Next level, next level. No, we need to make sure these robots are nice to us, and that's very important. We're in low volume production of the Tesla Semi, and just last week I approved the plans for volume production of the Tesla Semi. So we're going to make a lot of semi trucks. We're going to start off with. It's something I think it'll actually move the needle financially. It's not like it's not a small thing. So obviously we've got some new products that we're working on under the covers, and I think these are these are going to be pretty special. So some of them I think people maybe at first may think, oh, it's not going to be that amazing, but just wait, it will be. And Tesla is also the leader in real-world AI. So there's really this is a big deal. Tesla is ahead of Google, Meta, OpenAI, anyone on real-world software. Actually, taking in video and making decisions based on video. No one is even close, and it's getting better, I say, with each passing month, if not each passing week. So when the car is not in autonomous mode, which I think probably is, doing robotaxi work maybe 50, 60 hours a week, but about 100 hours a week, it's not, it's probably stationary. So there's 100 hours of 100 gigawatts of inference compute, which I think we should use. Why not? When people looked at Amazon, which started out obviously as an online bookseller, and it's has grown to be like this incredible place where you can buy anything, and then Amazon Web Services, they got all these computers that only really see peak usage sometimes, but what are they going to do when it's not peak usage? And sometimes the Amazon servers are down at 10%. So that's when they said, well, let's do Amazon Web Services. And then Amazon Web Services became more valuable than the entire rest of Amazon. And I think there's some kind of opportunity there that's pretty significant for Tesla down the road. Again, that's really, nobody's really factoring that in. But I think that actually will be quite significant. Are no longer compute constrained for training. So I check in with the team. It's is there anything we could do to improve the pace of progress with respect to training and inference? And currently that is not the limiting factor. In fact, the limiting factor right now is that the amount of miles between interventions is so long that it takes quite a while to figure out which version is better than the other version, because none of them are requiring any interventions. So it's like, if you start getting to like thousands of miles between interventions, or you're like 10,000 miles to get an intervention, then the average person only drives about 10,000 miles in a year. In an urban environment, and the average speed is 20 miles an hour. I mean, so our professional test drivers get pretty bored, frankly. They're like, okay, I drove all week and there was no intervention. Like the highlight of the week would be like, yes, an intervention, finally. It's like getting to that point. So this is where actually having a giant fleet is extremely important, because we can deploy a new FSD model and run it in shadow mode and see how well it performs. Compare how the human drives the car versus the new self-driving build, and then analyze that delta in shadow mode, like the shadow knows, or doesn't know, as the case may be, and then be able to assess by getting billions of miles very quickly with the giant fleet. Like that, basically, that data engine is incredibly helpful. Actually, it's not possible to solve the self-driving problem without having millions of vehicles on the road. You'll see really giant improvements, I think sometimes factor of 10 improvements between successive versions. So it's pretty wild to just be in Palo Alto with a bunch of cubes, and then a humanoid robot just walks past. We've made a massive amount of progress with Optimus in a short period of time, from someone pretending to be a robot dancing in a suit, to a pretty hodgepodgey robot, to a robot that is actually doing useful tasks in the factory today. So we have 2 Optimus robots in our Fremont factory that are doing basically this task, which is taking cells off the end of the line and placing them in a shipping container. Our prediction is next year we'll have over 1,000, maybe a few thousand Optimus robots working at Tesla. And things are going to scale up very rapidly from there. Tesla has the production capability, it has the engineering capability, and it has the AI hardware and software capability. And even the most optimistic estimates that I've seen for Optimus, the optimist, I think undercount the magnitude of what this robot will be able to do. I agree with the Ark and Best analysis that autonomous transport is called sort of a $5 to $7 trillion market cap situation. Optimus, I think, is a literally $25 trillion market cap situation. So. Now, I don't want to trivialize what's necessary to get there. I mean, it's an immense amount of work that is required to get there, like super difficult. But we are moving very fast down that road, and we're going to make it happen.
Hamza, first off, thank you for introducing me to Anurbeck. He and I are now like close thanks to you, and I moved to Austin thanks to you. So my question is basically, for FSD transfer, I think that should be something that should be ongoing. I think not only on the benefit of you for getting more people on the fleet and getting statistics and info, but also as Tesla owners, it makes us want to get the next model and transfer over. For instance, the thing that's been holding me back is wanting to wait for the FSD transfer again. So is there a reason why you haven't implemented that for like ongoing time?
It is pretty complex for us to do this. It's sort of it adds a fair bit of complexity to the sales process, yeah, and it is tough because we've got to earn revenue somehow. So, transfer is tough. But we sorry? One more quarter. Okay, one more quarter. All right, you got it. One more quarter.
I want to say my overall consensus on this shareholder meeting was it was pretty well constructed. I think we got a lot of optimism, and I mean, let's just think about this logically. If you're Elon Musk and you see Optimus on a day-by-day basis and the thing's walking around, it's making improvements literally day by day and especially week and month by month, then I think you're in a better position to be optimistic. And I know a lot of maybe retail or institutional investors, they're not as optimistic about Optimus or FSD or the timeline in which these products will actually come to a mass market reality. But when I heard Elon speak today, it was very optimistic. It was not pessimistic at all. In fact, there was not one thing that sounded worrisome or, on the pessimistic side. It sounded very good. In fact, Elon Musk was throughout the shareholder meeting joking around, and overall, he didn't seem too stressed out. It seems like Tesla, from what I gather, reading Elon's behaviors, it seems like Tesla's doing just fine. You really did not get a worried Elon Musk. So those are some of my impressions, I guess, if you will, from the overall shareholder meeting. I was slightly disappointed we did not hear more about Tesla's next-gen vehicles, but I think we can draw at least one conclusion. You can clearly and definitively see these two images are the same. These two covered up Tesla products. They're identical. This one is not. This one has more of a maybe longer kind of shape, more of a rectangular looking shape. Not exactly sure what this is, but it looks like some kind of van or some kind of larger SUV, maybe something like a Wagoneer, right? Something like a Tahoe or Yukon, something along those lines. And honestly, I think that would fit right in Tesla's product roadmap. That's kind of the one demographic that I guess Tesla does not have. Yes, the Model X is an SUV, but we're talking more of like a large SUV or something along those lines. That is what stuck out to me a lot during this segment of the shareholder meeting. And yes, I understand it's probably not fair to say I was disappointed we did not learn more about Tesla's next-gen vehicles, because this was not the outlet to give us new information on the next-gen vehicles. The shareholder meeting, it's just not where you unveil new products. So I did not expect much, but I was optimistic that maybe we'll get more detail. Either way, I'm expecting new details later on throughout this year. So really overall, I don't have any complaints. I guess another maybe disappointment was more direct questions about company fundamentals, margins, where they're going to go, things that were a little bit more specific about actual fundamentals, maybe delivery numbers, a new updated projection for, how is the interest rate buy down affecting Tesla's demand, right? Some of those things we did not get, but again, it really wasn't the outlet for that, although it maybe could have been. So I do think there was a little bit of a missed opportunity to ask Elon maybe what demand looks like, maybe what margins look like, but specifically demand based on the interest rate buy down compared to cutting prices. From what I can see on Google Trends, you're definitely seeing more search trend activity, more Teslas likely being bought based on Tesla buying down the interest rate instead of cutting prices. It would have been very good to get some clarity on that, which Elon probably would have answered that. So I think it's a little bit of a missed opportunity, like I said. But again, overall, it was a successful day. Elon's compensation package was approved, and that was the biggest thing heading into today. Really, that was the biggest catalyst that we've seen for Tesla in many years. I mean, if Elon's comp package had gotten rejected, Tesla stock would have fallen big time. Now, from the perspective of what happens next for Tesla, I do think, again, not to reiterate everything I've said over the past couple of days and weeks, I do think this likely is a big burden off of Tesla stock. And I do think Tesla, from that perspective, can start to do a lot better. If you look at Tesla to start 2024, the stock was $260 per share or so. The business itself has gotten even better since the start of 2024, much better than where we were. A lot more clarity, visibility into, what's currently going on at Tesla and the roadmap ahead. We have your robotaxi event coming on August 8th. There's been a lot of improvements to FSD. I'm going to assume you guys kind of have an understanding of the good things going on at Tesla over the last couple of months. Well, I think a lot of those good things can start to be appreciated more by the markets coming over the next, coming months. Of course, one day, 2 days, 3 days, you can't really judge too much of what's actually changed for Tesla stock. But I think if you look out the next couple of months, the stock is going to be a lot higher than it is today. Minus any economic problem, any kind of recession or calamity that happens, I think Tesla stock's going much higher. And I think, as Elon put it, why did I say it like that? Elon put it, you're really opening a new book for Tesla. Not even a new chapter, but a whole new book that this compensation package is over with. At least the drama along with this. The judge is most likely going to approve it. If not, maybe there will be more drama. We'll have to wait and see. But from the market's perspective, the drama's over with. And we can really get back to what's important. That is AI, that is solving autonomous vehicles, that is Tesla's margins, that is growing, production, all of the normal things. We can start to focus on that more. And I think when we do, we're looking at a better second half of 2024 and a lot better 2025 than, especially what we had to start 2024 and 2023. So I am very optimistic about what is next for Tesla. I do think Q2 delivery numbers are going to come in better than expected on July 2nd. I think earnings are going to come in pretty dang good as well, coming around July 20th or so when Tesla reports their Q2 earnings. And I think you could actually start to see estimates rise. And I think that can start to have a larger material impact on Tesla stock. And, I would be willing to bet the farm at this point. Tesla stock's going higher from here. Again, minus any kind of recession or economic fear or slowdown or crash overall in our markets. I think Tesla by itself will do very well here, especially if the economy holds up, if inflation continues to fall, and we do see the Fed ultimately start to cut rates for the right reason. And again, Elon Musk believes Tesla, let's not, miss the elephant in the room, believes Tesla can be a $30 trillion company at some point down the line. That is a 50x from today's valuation. And I strongly believe this is the moment in time where 20 years from now, you will look back and say, damn, it was right in front of me. I knew Tesla was going to solve FSD. I knew Optimus would be successful in some way, shape, or form, but I didn't pull the trigger. That may be you now with iPhones, right? Back in 2007, 2008, you knew that was going to be successful, but you did not pull the trigger. Maybe you were not an investor at that moment in time. And, I think it would be a regret for me personally to know all of this and not be fully invested in Tesla as much as I possibly can. And I do think there will be a short-term reward, and I think Tesla stock will go higher again in the short term, but in the longer term, 5 years from now, Elon thinks Tesla could be, the most valuable company in the world, assuming that, Apple or Nvidia or any other company doesn't reach over a $5 trillion market cap. I'm under that same assumption. So those are my thoughts. That's kind of what I believe is next. again, to put more specific prices to Tesla, I do think by the end of this year, Tesla is going to be over, $300 per share. Did today's shareholder meeting really change that positively or negatively? Not really. I think the biggest thing I got out of the shareholder meeting was just how optimistic Elon is. It doesn't seem like Tesla is doing poorly based on Elon's attitude and just how optimistic he actually was. I think those were ultimately the biggest things I took away. It doesn't really change the bull or bear thesis. I don't think it should for anyone. If you were bearish before, you're probably still bearish. If you were bullish before, maybe you're a little bit more bullish, longer term optimistic, but I still think in the short term, $300 by the end of this year is not overly optimistic in any degree whatsoever. And I think all-time highs next year is still my base case assumption. So let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. You guys go ahead and have yourself a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one.